Hi, welcome to the Cubby House.
Oh wow, you're here already. I've got something I need to figure out really quickly, but I did realize that last week, Meg, we never learned what our sign was for the church is united by its leaders.
Oh, yes.
Maybe while I figure this out, could you teach them the signs for that?
Sure thing. Everybody remembers what the sign is for the church, and we learned what the sign is for united. So the sign for leaders, you need your fingers in L shapes like this, and it's the same motion as the church, but with your L fingers, leaders. So the church is united by its leaders. A little bit quicker. The church is united by its leaders. Good job. Hey Megan, you look worried. What's going on?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out what today's rules are.
What do you mean today's rules? Is there a game called Today?
No, I mean today's rules about what we can do. I have an important meeting and it's a little far away, so I'm not sure if I'm allowed to travel that far, or if I have to wear a mask if I'm outside, or even if the stores will be open so I can pick something up that I need on the way there.
Oh, those rules. Yeah, they do keep changing all the time. Some days we can go to the park, some days we can't.
Some days we can go to school, and some days we can't.
Sometimes certain shops are open and some days they're not.
It is really hard to keep track and remember all of those rules.
That reminds me of when Moses came down from meeting with God on the mountain. How many rules did he give them? Well, the 10 Commandments. And then how many more?
There were 613.
How would anyone be able to remember all those rules?
Well, no one could remember and follow them all the time, but they grew up learning them, which helped the Jewish people remember them better because they learned them each day. Our rules are new and change a lot. That makes it harder to remember.
Whoa, wait, what about new Christians? You know how Paul and the other apostles have been sharing Jesus with the Gentiles? When they became Christians, did they have to learn to obey 613 laws? That would be really hard to do.
Actually, following the 613 laws was impossible to do for everyone except Jesus. But you're right, it would be hard to follow them or even learn them all. However, today's Bible story talks about just that. What did the Gentile Christians need to do to be saved? Let's head over to Megan and Jesse and hear today's Bible story.
Hi friends, I'm Megan. And I'm Jessie. What have you got there, Jessie?
It's my new magnet. My dad brought it back from Minnesota for me.
Ooh, cool. What was your dad doing in Minnesota?
He had to go for work. He had a very important meeting there.
Ooh. Hey, today's Bible story is about a big important meeting.
It is? Was it in Minnesota?
Nope. This meeting was in Jerusalem in Bible times. The church leaders met to answer a hard question. Can someone be saved by faith alone? I'm not sure. Well, listen to the story to hear the answer. Paul and Barnabas had been teaching people, Jews and Gentiles or non-Jews, about Jesus. Many people believed, and God's church was growing. But some of the people in the church began saying that Gentiles could only be saved if they first followed the same rules as the Jews. Paul and Barnabas knew this was wrong. They had a meeting with other church leaders to talk about what was true. Peter stood up and told the leaders about the Gentiles, the non-Jews, who had believed the good news about Jesus. God had given them the Holy Spirit. Peter said that Jews could not obey God's law perfectly, so why should they tell non-Jews to obey perfectly? Jews and Gentiles are saved in the same way, by God's grace. everyone listened as Paul and Barnabas talked about how they had seen God save the Jews and Gentiles too. Then James showed how the words of the prophets showed that God wanted to save both Jews and Gentiles. This was God's plan all along. So the church leaders decided to write a letter to the Gentile believers. The letter told the believers what they should not do now that they were believers. Paul and Barnabas delivered the letter with Judas and Silas, and the believers were encouraged. The church leaders met to answer a hard question. Can someone be saved by faith alone? Yes, the early church agreed that Jesus is all we need. Anyone who trusts in him will be saved.
Wow, that is such good news.
Yes, it is. We are saved by faith in Jesus alone. And if you can't remember the word faith means, you can watch our Cubby House videos from a few weeks ago and it'll help you remember. Today's big idea is the church is united in salvation, which means we agree and are united in trusting that people are saved by Jesus through faith in Jesus alone, not by following the laws or God's commandments.
Would you like to learn how to sign that big picture idea? Well, we know the church, and then can you remember from before, is united. Yep, just like this. Church is united. And by salvation is like this. One hand here and the other one scoops. Saved. Great. Let's put that all together. The church is united by salvation.
Great job, you guys.
Megan, I have a question though. Our Bible verse says that we are to make disciples of all nations and to teach them to obey all that Jesus commanded us to do. Even Jesus seems to be telling us that we need to obey all the laws.
Yes, we can choose to do good things and love others, and we should. But doing the right thing comes with the help of the Holy Spirit after we are saved, not before. We are saved by trusting in Jesus, not because of the good things we do or the rules we follow. No one but Jesus can follow all of God's rules. And following God's rules doesn't get us into heaven or help us be forgiven by God. Only Jesus can save us.
Hey, I think that's our next verse.
You're right. I have it right here.
Should we go teach it to Montgomery the sloth?
Do you have your slow sloth voice ready?
Great.
Great.
Let's go. Hello, Montgomery. How are you?
Hello, Meg and Megan. I'm enjoying the birds flying around my tree now it's springtime. They don't seem to stay around long enough, though, for me to tell them the Bible verses I'm learning.
That's okay, Montgomery. It's still really great that you have been learning and practicing and even sharing with them the birds, even if they do fly off.
Are you here so we can learn a new verse?
We sure are. It's about how we are saved by Jesus and no one or nothing else.
Sounds very special.
It is a very special verse to learn and remember. Would you like to learn it with Montgomery too? Great. You can repeat it in your best and slowest sloth voice, and I'll show you the hand motions to help you remember.
Jesus is
the
only one who can save people. No one else in the world is able to save us. Acts 4:12.
Acts 4:12.
Great job, Montgomery. Oh, wait, Meg, do you know a song about that verse?
I sure do. Shall we head over to the other bit of the garden for music time with Meg? Music time with Meg. Today's memory verse, Acts 4:12. You ready? Words are here, pineapple's here, and you're here. Jesus is the only one who can save people. Jesus is the only one who can save people. No one else in the world is able to save us. No one else in the world is able to save us. Jesus is the only one who can save people. Jesus is the only one who can save people. No one else in the world is able to save us. No one else in the world is able to save us. Do 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 do. This is Act 4:12.
In the Cubby house, it's time for fun.